every single week, each and every one of you will share basically the information that's on this page. So what are you celebrating? What's your biggest challenge, or what do you want support with? What do you want accountability to be held accountable to? And what's your resource? Your celebrations can be anything. Like, as I've done this in other masterminds, it can truly be like anything in your life. Ideally, it does link back to business in some way, shape, or form, or your journey to 100K. But it doesn't have to. There's things outside of that apply. The challenges that we face, this could look a lot of different ways too. So let's say you're putting an offer together and you want feedback. This is a great place to get feedback. If you want to spend your time, getting feedback. And then the resources part is really for you to be able to share, what books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What information has helped you on your journey throughout the last week, and you just share that. It could be something really simple. You share that with the group, and people will take it or leave it. But what's really powerful, I'll share this with you too. What's really powerful is after a year.
Look at a Ben Greenfield.
Ready for my share.
After a year and a half really of doing this, I have like weekly notes from 2020, from 2021, from my mastermind group that I'm in. And it's so freaking powerful. I'm having my VA go back through and capture all the resources. And I'm going to gift those to you guys because I think it's good. And once they're organized, like we have marketing resources, sales resources, operational, like so many resources, mindset resources. And I'm just so grateful that we chose to capture all of that, because it's wildly helpful when you need it, right? When we do the asking for support or sharing a challenge, we'll all give feedback. So, let's say Bex has a problem she wants to work through. She shares the problem. Maybe she has a solution, maybe she doesn't, but we can all share like, hey, have you checked out this resource? Have you tried this? Or this is what I did in this circumstance. So it really allows everyone to partake in the kind of journey, and allowing all of the resources we all have access to be a part of this group. So it's really, really powerful. And I think the other biggest thing that I've gotten out of masterminds is the accountability piece. If I know I'm showing up every single week to a group where it's like, I said I was going to do this thing last week, did I do it? I'm way more likely to do it. And I think the statistics on that is like you're 80% more likely to actually do something if you tell people that you're going to do it, and you have to show up and be held accountable to it. So that is why we're doing it the way we're doing it. I put in the WhatsApp tracker. I have so many trackers. I was like, I don't even know which tracker makes sense. And then I decided it doesn't really matter. If you want to use a tracker, go for it. I have other trackers. So if there's something that you want to track, whether it's money, whether it's multiple streams of income, whether it's kind of like, I have a growth planner that I've mentioned where it's like tracking out to my goals. I use a habits tracker. I've kind of reverted back to a habits tracker because I got off track with habits with traveling the world, like for whatever reason. Like I don't remember to walk. It's like, how do I not remember to do this shit? Like it's easy, but such is life. So whatever can best support you, let me know. We can figure out what's going to work. Okay, so I do have one request. I want to know who would like to take notes. We'll have one person take notes, and then I'll be the backup note taker. Let's do that. Sweet. And can you take them on, if I share this with you, can you take them on this document? Okay, cool. All right. So who would like to go first? Yeah, go for it.
I'd love to volunteer.
Cool.
Okay. What was can you share your screen again, please?
Yep, I'm just going to type in the chat. So celebrations.
Celebrations. Let's celebrate the fact that I put out a survey on LinkedIn and showed up, and I've had 6 people. I haven't checked it in a few days. I had 6 people fill it out. Again, that feels massive to me because I only told one person to actually fill it out. So
Yes.
there are people, I'm using this as evidence to support the fact that there are people out there that want my help. I'm just not in front of them yet. And I will be if I continue to like put myself out there. So that was kind of, there we go. Can I do support request last as my thing? Because that's probably the
Do whatever you want. Yep.
Well, I'm doing it last. Resource, I just shared in the WhatsApp a podcast from the Skinny Confidential, him and her. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I really love listening to their podcast because they have people come on who have come through like serious adversity and have talk about their story and how they've become so successful. And a lot of the things they drilled down into this one particular episode is like out of 400 podcasts here, like the top, I think it's 10 or it doesn't matter what the number is, but here's the most like important things that they had learned from all these other people with different backgrounds and their success. And like, it was really cool to kind of listen to some of the things because it's the things that, you know, we really don't want to do ourselves sometimes, like being super focused and disciplined has been massive. So that was a really fun resource. And then accountability. This week, I want to be held accountable to, at the very least, posting on social media twice, one of which being LinkedIn. That's where my larger focus needs to be. And so I can use that content to kind of repurpose on wherever else. And then the challenge support request I'm trying to get through, I don't know why. I know it's not a big deal that I'm hung up on the name, but I'm still hung up on the name. And it makes me just nervous of where to show up at first. So when I went on to share on Instagram the survey that I made, I couldn't figure out how to save the stupid file and like put it through my other account. So I only did it on my personal. And then I'm like, oh, do I want to just put it on my personal or do I want to put it on, you know, my business page? Business page needs to be like fooled around with and tweaked. I don't know, like gut reaction. Like I want to build something that's not necessarily just reflective of like my personal brand. That's why I want it on the business account. But like, I need any insight as to why I'm letting this silly thing be the one thing that's blocking me, because I have the awareness. I just can't really figure out why, the deep reason why.
I've got a really good account. If you've got Instagram, if you go and look at women in business, I'll put the link in the group chat. Why this is really good is I signed up to her networking bit for a little while, about 6 months, just so I could see how it was working, if it was something that I wanted to do within my group, yada, yada, yada. Side note. I wouldn't bother signing up. It isn't worth the money, just as an FYI. But going through and looking at her social media. So she has over 10,000 followers on Instagram. So she gets all of the fuzzy stuff you get with Instagram, has really good groups on Facebook, is making a lot of money out of it. And if you scroll through her Instagram quickly and you see how she's changed her logo, her color scheme, etc., etc. If you look at her followers are going up and up and up. Her engagement's going up and up and up. Nobody cares what color pink she's using. No one cares that it was a circle. Now it's women in business like this. So yeah, what I did with my Instagram was gave it to some friends and said, can you give me some really honest feedback? Loads of people said that there's stuff they couldn't see in my beginning of my Instagram because the colors were too dark. And I was like, what? So people were liking it, but they weren't actually reading it. And I was like, fuck. So yeah, so I'm happy to give you honest feedback on stuff that you post and your color schemes and stuff, but genuinely take a deep breath. And I promise you, nobody gives a shit about your branding colors, your name, other than you. So pick something that's not going to offend anybody or piss people off in a rough color palette that you think you're going to stay in, and then get feedback from it, see how it goes, just start showing up and posting. And then in 6 months' time, if you want to change it and jig it around, I promise no one's going to notice. The people that I sent in the group earlier that do Instagram, social media marketing, they were pink and they had like J sisters, and now they're TJS with a little Santa hat on. I like their stuff every day because they're in my network. I haven't even noticed they'd changed it. I was just going on liking their content, sharing it, sending, but I don't care. The My Money Club, we got VIP on the end. Lovely addition. Love that, Rochelle. Didn't notice until I was like on about 4 weeks in. I was like, oh, she's changed it. I didn't realize that because I don't care. I care about the content. I like to see her shaking her little bum on her reels. That's what I want to like and comment on. So yeah, for my personal feedback, and after 12 months of networking with probably over 1,000 people now, not one person has ever said, oh wow, I really like that burgundy. It's my wedding colours. I love burgundy. People who know me well know that that's obviously going to be my brand colours. No one else gives a shit.
I love that. I needed to hear that. And it is so true. Like, I never give a shit about what other people name their stuff. So why am I so hung up on mine?
So my question around that is, what are you making your name mean? Because you specifically said you're nervous. So what are you making it mean about you?
I want it to be like, a reason why I want it to put it under a business page and to have a good name is because I want to go back and point to that, because they want to use that as the resource and inspiration and not make it just like a sole reflection on me. I want to make it about other people. And I'm afraid if I make it just under mine, I'm not sure if that's what I really want. I don't know.
Yeah, so there's a deeper level of this.
I
So
know. I haven't been able to get deep enough. And
you're-
people have been bothered for this for like an effing year.
you're making it mean something about you in terms of uncertainty, and in terms of, like, if you show up as the business, then that equals what?
I don't even know. I think it's really probably just me being afraid to show up. And if it's not on my name, then it's under the company name. And that's a lot easier to hide than, say, like, if I was just showing up. Wow, that just blew my mind. That finally came out. That's only taken a year. I'm making it about me.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're not doing that anymore. So fuck it. We got to move forward. I don't have time for this. I've got other stuff I need to do. I guess now the battle is from that. I think I would still want to keep them separate, because I really don't even know who my followers are on my regular page. And I also don't really know who they are on my business page, because a lot of them are also coaches and trying to sell stuff. So I need to
turn your location off. That is my number one advice. So I have my personal Instagram, which I don't have enough time to post on anymore. So then and Michelle and I actually were having this conversation about where's the line between what you post professionally and on Instagram. And my Facebook business is done on my personal Facebook. So some weirdos go back to when I was 18 and I'm out drunk and someone's tagged me in a photo, beautiful. They get blocked automatically. But yeah, otherwise nobody who was actually interested in my business bothered scrolling back 15 years to find out those pictures. But yeah, on Instagram, I had a freaky experience where I'd been posting, like, walking my puppy on my story so people could get to know me and like what I'm doing. And then people sent me direct messages and knew where I was because I had my location on. So all I've done is take my location off my business account. So if someone really wants to stalk me, they need to put a lot of bloody effort in. But otherwise, I just post and turn up as me, and I've had no issues. I have to admit, sadly, when I post a picture where people can see my breast size, I get more engagement. And when I post reels of my puppy, she gets like 3,000 likes, and I'm struggling to get 500, which is irritating. But other than that,
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna fucking show up. It's time.
That's like the issue, right? You mentioned not showing up and hiding. So it's like, that's what's happening.
I've got to be done with that, because I'm not going to get to where I want to be if people don't know what I can do. And that's the problem. Because I think back and I look at all the stuff like this week for work. I was like, wow, I'm really smart and on top of some of my shit here. And the people I do talk to know. I'm like, but nobody outside of that does. We're changing that. Okay.
So what's your accountability?
I'm showing up two posts this week, or two types of social, I should say. One for sure being LinkedIn. The other can be Instagram too.
Cool.
Thank you.
Who's next? Oh, and from a resource, if you have thoughts on like a resource, Dana, feel free to share. If not, no big deal.
Yeah, I sent it in the
Oh.
WhatsApp chat, the podcast link.
I can go next. Celebrations. So I have completely destroyed my business plan, which I spent months making on pretty little headed paper. I've come up with a new business plan, which was in the goals that I did, you know, the 5-year goals, etc. I put in the group. So I love Endeavour Consultancy. I am sticking with it. Not as a hobby, it's still going to be a business. How I'm going to make income out of it is irrelevant. What I want to really focus on in my mastermind is passive income, understanding investments and how much passive income, with the goal at the end of this year to, if not before, be getting enough from passive income to match my current salary so I can quit. And then basically run Endeavour Consultancy into, the big legacy brand that I want it to be. So congratulations for having the balls to do that, because that was quite scary. But support request, I suppose, is it accountability or support request? I guess if I send like the high level of my new business plan before next week, if everyone could have like a little look and give me
Absolutely.
their thoughts, because what I need to do is, I guess, I've got Endeavour Consultancies massive and I'm involved in so many things, youth mentoring, drug rehab, networking, Facebook group, etc. So I'm going to put it all down and basically slice up my time into the percentages of how much investment I'm going to put into each of those things. Also then putting in, back to my healthy boundaries, a nice section so that I can gain knowledge in investments and passive income, so that then I can have kind of the freedom, everything we've spoken about, to do Endeavour Consultancy, but still have nice holidays and nails and all of the things that my shallow self likes. So yeah, I guess that's kind of my accountability, because I'll need to actually get it my ass in gear and get it to you so that you can review it for next week. And my support request is to review it and have a look and let me know what you think.
I have a question. I love that you said this. This is like coming after my own heart, of creating passive income. So have you delved at all into any type of passive income strategies? Like, where are you at on that journey?
At the beginning, so I've invested like a couple of £100 into like Bitcoin and stuff to work out kind of roughly how it works. I've obviously worked in the finance industry for like 15 years, so I have some basic, I know what a balance sheet, profit loss, etc. Then I've set up like Plum. I don't know if that translates, if you guys have like Plum. So basically it's an app that I invest £25 in a week, and then it takes it off and puts it into like Apple and stuff like that, so you buy like 1/100th of a share. Because it's made it for dummies, which I like, but it starts using some like trading terms and stuff, so you start getting a bit, so I'm just trying to learn the lingo really, and kind of what that stuff means, and looking at like online. I think a lady that you pointed me in the direction of, that you did some coaching with, so I'm following her on Instagram, seeing what kind of trading accounts people are using, just learning about how much money that you need to invest. And I've kind of learned that basically just starting to invest with anything is better than nothing. So then it's just working out with a small pot of money where I should start investing my time in education and learning to upscale, because I've obviously got my debt to repay, which is like my number one priority. But I think it's taking some of my money out of my debt repayments to play with investment. So I'm happy to lose it. Wouldn't like to, but I'm kind of in that frame where, £500, £1,000 to lose to learn something isn't something I'm, upset about, if it means that I can repay that debt in a short amount of time and leave my 9 till 5 job.
Cool.
So right at the beginning, I guess I'm a fetus when it comes to investing.
Yeah, and that's fine. You and I can talk in our coaching session. I have some ideas for you. So,
I want to
thank you.
too.
Yeah. One more question, Bex. Do you
Mhm.
have a retirement plan through work? I don't know how retirement plans work.
In the UK, it doesn't. So yes, I have a pension through work,
Pension.
but basically, when I leave Bibby, that pension will sit there in a pot. Most of them aren't transferable, and I think at the minute it'll be about £3,000 a year. But I can't add that into anything else. If I die, they pay 8 times my salary. So I mean, that's useful for other people, but not overly for me.
Yeah, I get it. So I imagine like normal pension rules. Can you take a lump sum, or is that not allowed?
I can ask and see if I can take a lump sum if I left, and if they make me redundant, I can obviously go into ask that as part of my redundancy. And we obviously get a state pension in the UK because we're lucky. So my state pension would be like £900 a month when I retire. So I kind of know that as much as you have as a crystal ball. So you know that you potentially have that. So that's kind of nothing. So my retention plan in my head, because I've seen some apps that you can download that kind of tell you how much to put in, what you get out. Because you have a 401k or something in America, so we don't have that kind of. They don't have that kind of stuff, as far as I'm aware. But we do have lots of stocks and shares and like government bonds and stuff. So there are lots of definitely UK options that I could look into. It's just two-way trading, what does that even mean? And like when you sometimes send the pictures through and I'm like, it's got a red number, I'm like, is that good or bad? Like I'm just to the point where I'm just like, I just and then I read your comments and go, well, she's happy with that, so that's a good trade. Okay, she's made money out of it. So yeah, I think it's just lots of graphs and stuff, and I think it's quite daunting for me, so I've put it off for a while. So I just need to come over that kind of mental block and start playing with money that I'm with a comfortable limit that I'm happy to lose, because I'm obviously going to mess it up while I learn, to then start playing with bigger numbers. I know that investing £1,000, I'm not going to make 19,000 a day off that. It's just so I can learn the lingo and then start investing.
Yeah, there's also simulation accounts that allow you to play with more money, to play without and if you lose it or whatever, it doesn't matter because it's a fake account, right? So I have lots of thoughts around that to help you.
Okay, cool.
Figure that out.
And then other passive income is doing downloading stuff. So doing a website and people can go on and download how-to guides. Because when I started phoning people and sort of saying, what can I offer as services, the array of things that people think that I can do, which I can do, but it's odd that that's what they'd ask for me to do. From organizational, like I'm planning an event now for somebody for £3,000, which I'm just like, well, that's a bargain. But I'm just like, what have I ever done to make you think? And I've organized a lot of corporate events, I suppose, over the years. So I was like, that's fine. So so I think it's just, I could do little pre-made packs almost in my head, how to set up a business, £1,000, download this, and it gives you all the links, blah, blah, blah. So I've got quite a few ideas. It's just, I need to put that in some kind of order.
So your accountability is you're going to finish the business plan and send it to us so we can review. Cool.
Yeah, it'd be a nice one pager. And then I'll obviously have more that I could share in my coaching with you, but I'm not going to bore everyone to death with a 55-page PowerPoint.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'll go. Okay, I'm celebrating a lot. Last week, I had a call with a woman in my community who wants to hire me to go to her place and tell her what I think, which was kind of mind-blowing to me. I was even kind of probing her in our meeting, asking is there anything else that I can offer you? And I was kind of trying to give her more, and she would just like, I just want you to come over and tell me what you think. I don't need anything else. I'm like, okay. So that was really eye-opening and kind of spun me into this direction in this world of pay Sam for her opinion kind of world. So I it might lead into this accountability idea as well, but I'll just keep talking about what I'm celebrating and then maybe we can come back to it. So that was amazing because that call, like I said, $950 and she said yes. So to make that $1,000 like that, almost, 50 less, was a really amazing experience for me. It's not in my hands just yet, but that's fine. Just the fact that I did that was a huge celebration for me. So there's that. I also launched another stream of income through the house. I want to rent out our house and our property as a photo shoot location. And what's kind of brilliant about it is even with COVID, if people just wanted to go around and use the outside of my property, which is fucking epic, like I can make money just doing that. So that's another stream of income that I opened up this week. I also launched the OMJ. So our podcast got a revamp and we're launching episodes and we are offering more different services, and it's day 2 or 3, or I don't know. It's just early stages of launching that. So that's something to celebrate. I wrote it down because there was just so much to celebrate. Oh, okay. When I reached out to people to make my first $1,000, I had a great conversation with someone who said, why don't you check these Facebook groups? Like they are your perfect audience for people who need help with this. So I did, and I feel like a spy. I feel like I want to be courteous to the administrators on the group because I know that they're really strong against spam and promoting yourself and blah, blah, blah. So I'm walking in the water compassionately, but I'm also aware of the fact that this is something that came to me, is that in the past, when I sell something, I am of the belief and in the energy of I'm taking from this person. I'm asking them for something. So it's not in the energy of I'm giving you something. I'm giving you something. I'm showing you something. I'm helping you. I'm giving you something. Here's something for you that's going to help you. That's not the energy that I come from in the past. So I'm playing with that idea when I go into these Facebook groups. So I'm being really gentle, but I'm also of the mindset like, hey, I have something to offer your community. I'm not taking from them. I'm giving them something. So that's interesting. So I've been posting in that group and I'm going to be posting more often in that group. Very grateful for those admins in that group.
Can I ask a quick question, Sam?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you contact the admin of the group directly? Because obviously you say that you're oh, you did?
I did. I said, I am a host, like I'm a vacation rental owner. So like, don't be afraid of me. And I teach other hosts how to do the same, like how to improve. And they're like, okay. But he was the only, like I've messaged a bunch of other groups, but he's the only one that's given me the okay so far. So.
Because I find that, because obviously with a group engagement, people like lives and stuff, and not a lot of people like going live. So if you were happy to go live or do recorded content, it might be worth contacting them again, because that gets their engagement in their group up, and then you're offering them something for free, but also getting your message and getting your face out there and the right people. Just a little suggestion.
That's a great idea. That's really good. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. It feels weird. It feels weird to be like, hey, this group that you made is perfect, like anyways. So I got over that. Okay, the other thing I'm celebrating is I reached out to a newsletter. So I'm going to be a part of another person's audience who is, again, my audience. And I wrote out a huge newsletter, and that's going to be published soon too. So I got my face out there. I'm doing the friggin' thing. A lot to celebrate. Okay, what was the next question? It's in the chat, right?
Yeah.
Celebration, support, resource, accountability. I Okay, I want to talk about the resource next. So do I just close it? Okay. In my goal, I wrote down that I want to generate $100,000 income for the year of 2022 energetically. And I want to do this energetically and physically. So it's like female and masculine, like that's where I want to be. And so in my masculine, obviously, I mean, you could hear by what I just said with my celebrations, I was like doing the thing, right? And then energetically, I'm reading this book called Heart of the Soul. I'm only like a quarter into it, but holy moly. So it brings what I read in the last book, kind of like elaborates on it, but in a really soft, general way. It's not so sciencey, and it's not sciencey at all, actually, even though it talks about the same things. And this is what's really cool about it. So the words that I picked were confident, clear, strong, and wealthy. And I learned in my chakras that my confidence lies in my solar plexus, my clarity lies in my throat, and my strength lies in my heart. So I'm like, that's so cool, because now I get to play around with those energy centers in my body so that I can become wealthy. And I just been having such a wonderful time exploring my energy chakras, been doing energy meditations, aligning my chakras. And yesterday morning, I aligned my chakras. Like I could feel the energy it was the weirdest, amazing, easy, super conscious, no pressure. Like I was, like, well, this is pretty cool. Like that kind of experience. And I've learned that my heart chakra, my strength chakra needs some attention. So I'm going to be working with that. And so I've reached out to a Reiki master who's also my friend, and she's going to help me with that. And I'd also realized that my friend who passed away like years and years ago, he was friends with a bunch of my girlfriends, and he sends us messages. And his message to me this summer was relax your shoulders. And I read in the book that open hearts have relaxed shoulders. And I was like, oh, he gave me that message months ago. And like, that was the answer to my quest. So I'm going to be relaxing my shoulders. Okay. I am talking so much. Accountability. So this goes to my, this concept of Sam getting paid for her opinion / her approval for places to stay. I wrote a little thing about it. I've called it signature collection. So it's like Samantha's signature collection of places that she thinks are brilliant. And I'm kind of like, do I advertise this now? It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, I don't want to keep throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks. It feels a little sloppy. So yeah, I'm not sure if I should kind of like sit on it a little bit and just let it marinate, maybe. But also like what I want to be held accountable for this week. Clearly what I want is to make money this week. I want to find a way to make money for this week. So that's my hold me accountable for that. Like next time next week, I will say, Sam made money this week. So
Are you a specific manifestor or a general one?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is that easy to find out?
Yeah, it's in your human design.
Okay.
Just curious.
I yesterday did this huge, share of our property and like that as a new income thing for me. I'm wearing this sweater that says Islander on it that my husband and my brother-in-law, they're making these sweaters and t-shirts and they're selling them. They don't have a social media account. They're just put it in a store. So I'm wearing this shirt and this, I was like, DM me if you want one. And I was talking about something else completely different. Like I literally just wrote, I just put a little comment on it. I wasn't even talking about it. DM me if you want one. And this girl messaged me and she's like, I want one. And I'm like, I just sold you a sweater, Nick. Like I just sold you a sweater. And I was like, damn it. I made money for somebody else. Fuck. Like, shit. So annoying. Anyways.
I love it. Okay, so going back to your question, is your question, should I create another offer?
Like, should I tell people that this is what I'm gonna, I guess it's another offer. It
Sounds
feels
like it.
Yeah, maybe that's the right, I don't know, maybe that is the thing. I already have on my, like on my page, I have my signature audit, which is me going to the property. And I think those two, I actually think it kind of goes hand in hand, because I do only want to go to places that are established. I don't want to come to your house if there's like 1,000 things I can say right from the start. Like that's just way too much work for me. Like it would, take my course. That's what I would say. I'd be like, take my course, because yikes, right?
Yep.
It's more about people who are determined to create something magical. And so like I come in and give like the final say. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So maybe I can just kind of.
Yeah. So my experience of what you're saying is you're developing a product suite. Think about the client journey or the client experience with your product suite. So like in my mind, people find you, they see these amazing, beautiful places. Maybe they're a host, maybe they're not. Let's say they are a host and they don't know how to do that. So like step one would be take my course, because they're just not at that level. Step two would be like, okay, now they've done the deed, they're iconic, dubbed Sam, and they can enter the community and pay for the community and become a part of Host to Host. And then a third component of that would be a layer deeper, where you actually go to their location and like give them a certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, so it makes sense in like the client journey. So just be aware of, as you're creating products and services, it's like, okay, this is the stepping stones that people will go through from like completely unaware, not on the same page as me, to like, okay, these are my people, these are my tribe people, because they're like in total alignment and raving fans.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm on the right track. So what I need support and help with, I don't know. Like, I mean,
how are you going to make money this week?
I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. Like I want to, post on the, our Pike Farms account. I want to post on, OMJ, which I'm like already in line to do. Like I'm already kind of setting myself up for this. The only area that I'm feeling a little wobbly in is Host to Host, because I'm like, what am I doing now? Right. And like, I feel like we kind of talked about it. So, I don't have like a concrete, maybe I do have I don't know. Maybe I do have a framework.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're posting, you're creating consistency, you're showing up.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to know the answer, like where the money is going to come from. I just wanted to understand better, like how do you foresee that happening? So it sounds like you have at least a plan for posting. I'm assuming you'll also have calls to action for all of those things where people can pay you. And then it sounds like you're getting more clear on your product suite for Host to Host, which is establishing a client journey, which is a framework. And once you have all of those pieces on Host to Host done, then you can just cycle through talking about each piece of that. right?
Mhm.
From a marketing perspective. So you'll just make it clear over and over and over. Like, if this is where you're at in your journey, do this thing. If this is where you're at in your journey, do this thing, and so on and
Yeah.
so forth.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like you're clear, but do you feel like you're clear?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And yeah, like I think it's gotta happen at some point.
Beautiful.
Is that my turn? Okay, I have a lot to celebrate as well.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing. It was really nice to hear all this and to see how far we've come in just a month. I love this. This is so amazing. Thank you.